Can yoga lead to spiritual awakening? Yes and no. The thing is, anything can lead to spiritual awakening. Just like when Ramana lied down and thought he's gonna die, and he said, I'm just gonna observe who's dying, and then he realized his true self. Yoga can also hinder you actually in awakening if you identify too much with yoga. Yoga in a sense had the idea of, or has the idea of quieting the body, then doing with asanas and so forth, and pranayama, then doing mantras, and then resting in meditation. Now, for example, one part of yoga, which is the mantras, the Aum mantra, for example, Om, let me twice into samadhi. The problem is, though, some people experience this kind of letting go into the self, but they don't know what it is. So they're like, they bounce back into the identification, and there's like, whoa, I had this experience, not realizing that what they experienced was actually the real self. And I think this can also happen to ayahuasca. So the direct path, the Advaita Vedanta path, is actually better and faster than yoga because for awakening, because it literally tells you that everything that's observed is not you, in the sense you shouldn't be identifying with it, with these ideas, thoughts, and categories, and emotions, and body. The realization is you are the self as consciousness, as nothingness. And within that, everything else is kind of happening or observed. And that's a direct path, whereas the yoga is kind of like, first you go through the body, quiet the body. Then as you quiet the body, you get an experience of what it means to just rest in silence without thoughts. And then if you correctly understand that that is the true self, then the awakening has happened. But if you just experience the true self without realizing that that is the true self, then you just bounce back into identification. Whereas for the awakened person or the awakened being, there is no more anymore. Like, even if I'm speaking right now, even if I'm saying something now, even if I'm thinking, I know it's not me. It's just something that's happening. And that is the idea. So yoga does not necessarily help you. I mean, there's people who have meditated for 30 years. There's people who've done yoga for 30 years, but they're still very heavily identified. And it doesn't matter if it's Kundalini yoga or any other type of yoga. What you can do is experience the body in a different way, but it doesn't mean it's awakening.